Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
It's Thursday, August 18th. This is The Gateway. I'm Wayne Pratt. Two former officials of a small North St. Louis County community are accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the city.
They were in charge of receiving all funds for the city, paying all bills, reconciling the monthly bank statements. The city clerk was an authorized signator on city checks.
The two worked in Flordell Hills, which has a population of about 800. Those allegations are in federal indictments which were unsealed yesterday. That's where St. Louis Public Radio's Rachel Lippman picks up the story.
The two women were the clerk and assistant clerk of Flordell Hills. Over 6 years, they allegedly used their authority in those roles to steal more than $660,000 for personal use, including rent, back taxes, and gambling. They would often forge the signature of the city's mayor or treasurer. Assistant U.S. Attorney Hal Goldsmith says the annual budget of Flordell Hills is about $450,000. He says the alleged theft sometimes left the city unable to pay its bills.
It's just unfortunate that these government officials who are trusted by the city administration and owe their duty and obligation to the residents carried out this alleged scheme.
The women were fired in May. They had each worked for the city for about 10 years. I'm Rachel Lippman, St. Louis Public Radio.
Missouri could be the first in the nation to pass a voter-led effort to require automatic legal forgiveness for some past marijuana crimes. Voters in November will decide whether to legalize adult recreational marijuana use. The Missouri constitutional amendment would also require courts to wipe most past marijuana convictions. Of the 19 states allowing adult use marijuana, only 7 also clear former offenders' records automatically. Lawmakers in those states voted to expunge records. Missouri would be the first where voters chose amnesty for past marijuana convictions. The commercial airport at Fort Leonard Wood is expected to add a second destination. St. Louis Public Radio's Jonathan Ahl reports while it is not official, leaders are talking about direct flights to Nashville.
The Waynesville-St. Robert Airport at Fort Leonard Wood is open to the public and soldiers for commercial flights. United Express currently offers service to Chicago from the airport. Dorsey Newcomb is the executive director of the Sustainable Ozark Partnership. He told attendees at the group's annual meeting that a second destination is coming.
You can fly right this minute from Fort Leonard Wood to Chicago, but maybe in a couple of weeks you might fly to another destination. Let's just imagine it could be a place like Nashville. But we'll see what happens.
SkyWest, which operates the United Express flights from Fort Leonard Wood, did not immediately respond to requests for confirmation. In Rolla, I'm Jonathan Ahl, St. Louis Public Radio.
Also out of yesterday's annual meeting of the Sustainable Ozark Partnership is a pledge from an outgoing member of Congress to continue advocating for Fort Leonard Wood after leaving office. Vicki Hartzler says a big expansion opportunity for the Army post is to increase the presence of other military branches.
But we need to continue to try to expand into other services coming here. I think we can expand more into talking and reaching out more to the Air Force and the Navy.
Fort Leonard Wood has some Air Force and Navy personnel and hosts the biggest Marine detachment in the U.S. outside a Marine installation. Hartzler did not seek re-election and instead led an unsuccessful campaign for U.S. Senate. Illinois Republican lawmakers will get their day today at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. That comes after Democratic lawmakers were at the fairgrounds yesterday and criticized the GOP. Mawa Iqbal reports.
Governor J.B. Pritzker was the last to take the mic at the Illinois Democratic County Chair's brunch and said Democrats reject extremist candidates like his Republican opponent, State Senator Darren Bailey.
But in the face of what's happening in America today, in the face of what the Supreme Court and the radical right wing are trying to do to the fundamental rights of every American, we, the coalition of the sane, owe something better to our children and our grandchildren.
A plane flew over the Democrats' day at the state fair advertising an anti-Pritzker website, though the website wasn't set up. Republicans don't hold a single statewide office and control only about a third of the Illinois General Assembly. I'm Mawa Iqbal.
Some items we are following today in the St. Louis Public Radio newsroom. Metrolink will provide an update on repairs to the light rail service following last month's flood. Officials will also provide the most recent damage estimate. Initial estimates approached $20 million. The St. Louis Development Corporation Board will meet to consider a contract to evaluate and market development sites with a firm currently behind the Choteau Landing development. The board is also expected to approve a contract for a review of internal operations. Candidates on November's ballot in Missouri will be looking for support at the annual Governor's Breakfast at the State Fair in Sedalia, and Republicans in Illinois will focus on the state fairgrounds in Springfield. Democrats rallied at those fairgrounds yesterday. The Gateway is a production of St. Louis Public Radio, a listener-supported service of the University of Missouri-St. Louis. Music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. Have a great day.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.